And we're only interested in viewing data only for unpaid invoices because the late fee would apply only to them. So we need to enter the necessary condition for the invoices paid field. Now if you remember, the invoice paid is a yes/no field. The condition you need to enter is the word no in the criteria box for this field so that Microsoft Access will be able to retrieve the records for the unpaid invoices only. So if you look at your invoice paid criteria down here, and you see that we have a criteria, let's go ahead and type that word in. Just simply type the word no. And you can see that as we start to type, a menu appears. These are options for entering various built-in functions for the criteria. We don't need to enter any of that, so you can close this menu. And we'll just hit Tab, and we'll get rid of that W. Just backspace. And it does not like me doing that, so let's just go ahead and put quotes around it so that Microsoft will quit trying to mess with us. So we've entered text of no in our invoice paid, and we'll hit Tab, and that will correct that issue. Once you've done, just hit the Tab key, and that will move you to another field. We've created that criteria. We know that these are going to be ones that aren't paid, so we don't really want to show this field, so let's uncheck that box there, and that will remove the check mark. Now let's go ahead and save this query, and we're going to call it unpaid invoice late fee, and that name will indicate that the data is for unpaid invoices. So let's go ahead and save. We'll give it a name of unpaid invoices late fee, and we'll hit OK. Now let's work on creating that calculated field. So click the blank field box to the right of the invoice paid amount here. So once you click the blank field box to the right of the invoice paid, this is the field that's going to contain our expression. Now in the query setup group up there, you'll see you've got several options here, but the one that we want to pick is the Builder button. So select the Builder button there, and then your Builder dialog box is going to open up. Now the expression we're going to be using for this calculated field is going to multiply the invoice amount field values by a constant or a numeric constant of 0.02, and that's going to represent a 2% late fee. So here in our expression categories section, we are going to double click invoice amount. You can see how the builder puts that information in. Now let's put in our multiplication operator. So we are going to go ahead and add that asterisk now, that multiplication, and then we are going to put our value of 0.02 to represent our 2%. Your expression should just look like this: invoice amount times a multiplier of 0.02. And that's, you have finished entering your expression. Let's go ahead and click OK now. And Access is going to close our expression builder dialog box, and you see that that gets added down here in our available fields. But we need to enter a name, and we're going to call this late fee, and this will better describe this field. So let's click to the left of the text, expression 1. You can click in there and you can go use your arrow keys if you want to get just to the left of the E in expression. So make sure you don't delete anything there, except for, we don't want this to be displayed as expression. So we can use our shift key and we can just highlight all of expression 1. This is where we're going to change the name to late fee. So go ahead and type late fee as one word. And now we'll set the caption property of this to display it as 2 words. So once we have that now, let's go to the Show Hide group here on our Design tab, and we want to see our property sheet. So go ahead and click that, and you will see that your property sheet's going to show up over here. Now we want to change the caption, so we're going to click in there, and we're going to put late fee as 2 words. You just hit the tab button to go away from there. Once you've done that, you can close the property sheet here. Now we've got everything built in. We've got our expression built. Let's go ahead and run our query to see the results from that. And it says that we have a data type mismatch in our criteria expression. So let's take a look at that. Okay, so even though that Access didn't like my value of no here, let's just move those quotes, and we should be able to run our query without any syntax error. Go ahead and make sure you don't have any quotes around no. Run, and there is our query of 76 records. And you can see our late fee category has been added, and we have values placed in there based on the calculated field we created. Now let's add a little formatting here to our calculated field. So go ahead and switch back to Design View. And in our Design Grid, click in the late fee area here and make it the current field. And we're going to go up here to our property sheet. We're going to go to the Format box here, and we're going to use our drop down. We're going to make this currency. Let's go ahead and change that format to currency. Close our calculated sheet here, or property sheet here. And then let's run the query, and you should see in our amount field now we have it in the same format we have invoice amount. So now we have our currency formatting applied. So now that looks so much better. Now let's go ahead and save and close this query. Great job, everyone.